It was an event unlike any other. Fires on Table Mountain are not uncommon, and even the size of this blaze was not the biggest on record. But a strong wind forced the flames towards UCT. Students were evacuated en masse. Residences and other buildings were etched in red and orange, and the sky darkened with a thick smoke that swirled around the historic campus. Then, the Jagger Library was lit up in an instant. Staff and students watched in horror as this building, that contained one of the foremost collections globally on African literature, films, and other documents, went up in flames.
The collection is diverse. It's from people who came to this country and who, through various positions, investigated the botany, the ethnography, the music of the local people and recorded it. And in some instances, there are physical objects such as musical instruments, which are also available. And that is the way we provide an opportunity and a conduit for people to claim their cultural heritage or to claim ownership in aspects of conversation around what is African heritage.
The Jagger Library and Reading Room dates from the 1940s. It was a place of study, research, and a safekeep of items that speaks to a people, a continent, individuals' history, a collective experience and knowledge. For many years, and more intensively over the last decade, specialist librarians scoured the continent to find valuable material. Among the collections were, among others, over 3,500 films, political posters from the turbulent freedom struggle, and other items that shaped the political history not only of this country, but sub-Saharan Africa. It was not just a building, but a space that held time, memory, and stories.
A large portion of our African Studies collection was destroyed in the fire, up to 45,000 items, some of which are unique, some of which are scarce publications, also from publishers, African publishers, and that might not be replaced ever. The other aspect of what we do, and which speaks to in more intangible aspects, are the primary collections. And there we have collections that transcend many types of focus areas when one talks about culture. As you know, in our country, the narrative, the dominant narrative, is not one written by all the people in this country, and on the African continent for that matter. And we collect materials that will allow people to research and to affirm their own cultural heritage and to start stories around what their narratives are. We provide an opportunity through a research function for people to tell their stories.
A library is more than a building. It's a safekeep, yes, but over time, spaces such as these morph into living entities when its collections serve to learn, enlighten, shape thoughts, ideas, and ultimately, people. While the fire was still burning, support flooded in from around the world. 2,000 volunteers came to form human chains to carefully extract thousands of crates of material to be restored. Experts, students, civilians, organizations, and financial support from around the world were sent to salvage and rebuild.
There are things that are irreparably lost, such as in the African film collection. But throughout history, without trivializing it, many important organizations, institutions have lost material. It's a lesson for us as human beings. How we rise from this, how we move forward from this, is what determines our character. And the University of Cape Town Libraries, we've already started moving forward.
Digitization is part of preservation and restoration efforts, and the aim is to capture up to 100,000 items by June 2023. Globally, efforts are also underway to hopefully find items to replace what was lost. But ultimately, heritage is more than abstract interpretation, objects and experiences of the past. It's also about people that are in the here and now.
A tragedy, but out of that, a celebration of being human. If you like, there was Ubuntu in place. And if we're talking about heritage, then I'd like to leave you with one last message. There was Ubuntu that was demonstrated during the Jagger fire.
The Jagger Library will forever be different after the devastating fire. How and what form it will take is still to be determined. But what is certain is that this beacon of heritage will rise from the ashes like the mythical phoenix, reborn. Mariska Botha, SABC News, Cape Town.